Vishwajit, Rane, as well as Mr. Nawab, Malik, thank you so much for waiting patiently, sir. Let me first begin with you, Mr. Rane. These guidelines have a longer list of the ease in the restrictions than the restrictions itself. How does this impact, say, a state like Goa?
Sanket, thank you for having me on your show. But I was just going through the guidelines as soon as they were released. But as far as Goa is concerned, we were one of the few first states to invoke the Epidemic Act 1897 initially. And after that, now after the ease of doing business, as you know, Goa has been declared as a green zone. And I have been consistently saying that even if we have been declared as a green zone, we need to take precautions and keep precautions in place. So our government is not going to be taking off the Epidemic Act 1897. We are going to keep it in force. And we are going to ensure that, because for a small state like us, we have lost the tourism business totally. And in addition, even our mining income has been totally off the radar for quite a number of years now. So in view of this being declared as a green zone, we don't have any cases, but still, as a matter of caution, and with people coming in from outside the state of Goa, which has been allowed now as the new MHA orders, and also the seafarers that are coming in from international waters into the state of Goa, we need to be very careful and see that our systems are in place. Hence, ease of doing business is important for us. Same time, putting measures in place, increasing our capacity of testing is also equally important, and we'll be doing that.
Okay. Mr. Rane, please do hang on, because we'll take this discussion a little national also on what has been done and what could have been done, because there is a lot that is being spoken about this aspect. Mr. Nawab Malik, first, your state. This is a state, Maharashtra, which has seen the maximum number of cases, maximum number of deaths, particularly Mumbai. Do you think that these easing of restrictions are going to help you, or will the state override as has been mandated in these very guidelines, that if you want, you can go for harsher restrictions also? What is the Maharashtra strategy going to be?
Maharashtra strategy will be there to prevent people from the infection, to save the life of the people of the Maharashtra, and definitely reviving economy is also a priority. But as you know, in the state of Maharashtra, most of the activities where it is, that is Mumbai, Thane, MMR region, Pune, that is under red zone. This is the capital areas of the Maharashtra. Remaining areas where the green and orange zones are there, some activity has been started. Today we have taken some decision that regarding agricultural activities, everything will be started. PWD work or corporation work should be going to be started. But as far as guidelines given by the central government today, definitely we are having a high-level team. They will sit together, they will finalize. Maybe we will accept some of the guidelines or some of the restrictions we have to impose on the people. We must restrict activities in various areas like Mumbai, Pune, Thane and MMR region. So definitely tomorrow a fresh guideline will be issued by the state of Maharashtra. Definitely reviving economy is a priority, but not on the that the people life can be put into danger. Definitely we will see how to go ahead.
Okay. Now I want to ask you a question. A lot has been said, say for instance, about migrant laborers, about students. And I was speaking to Mr. Hemant Soren, the Chief Minister of Jharkhand, who says that this entire matter could have been handled better by the central government. For instance, if you wanted to run trains or buses for the migrant laborers, this should have been done earlier and not after 36 days. What's your opinion?
The stand would have been taken earlier also. It is too late. But it is a big challenge now. Migrating from one state to another state, a number of Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Jharkhand, Odisha and West Bengal, a huge number is there from the state of Maharashtra. More than 20 lakh people are ready to migrate to their hometowns. Even district to district migration is a bigger issue. Even our people are in Surat, our people are in Tamil Nadu. In various states also we have our people. They want to come back to their own town, own state, own villages. And definitely that is also a bigger challenge to handle that situation.
Correct.
Suppose in Parvani there was no any case. After one migration of Pune, there was a single case. One other migration from Aurangabad, day before yesterday, one more patient has been detected. Now in Prabhani, where it was 0 case, people are
No, but then Mr. Malik, the rules here are very clear. The rules are very, very clear. They say that both the host state as well as the state from where these people will travel, both have to agree. Yeah, I'll come back to you. There's some problem with your audio, Mr. Malik. I'm going to come back to you. There's some problem with your audio. Vishwajit Rane. Vishwajit Rane, you heard what Mr. Nawab Malik had to say. He says that this is too late, this decision that has been taken. And you know, we are also getting feedback that this is not just a decision which has been taken or a considered opinion that has been taken by the centre. This is political pressure, and particularly from within the BJP, that you can't keep people in a state of lockdown, particularly migrant labourers. It does not make political sense.
Sanket, I would like to intervene. Mr. Nawab Malik is a very senior leader, and I would like to say that I don't think there's any politics here. This is an unprecedented situation in the country. None of us have experienced in the manner in which the cases would be growing in the country. We needed to observe, and I do believe that the steps being taken by our Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji have been very, in very tune in consultation with all the chief ministers on a regular basis. I have been a part of the video conferencing facilities, video conferencing with the Chief Minister of Goa. On every occasion, the Prime Minister had a video conference, and it was totally a consultative kind of a interaction with all the chief ministers. And I feel that at that point of time, if you allowed migrant workers to travel across interstates, today we do know that the cases in the country are increasing. Nationally, if you look at it, I don't think any kind of a decision by the Honorable Prime Minister or the Government of India and the
Mr.
MHA.
Rane, wasn't the original purpose defeated because migrant labourers did travel? They travelled on foot.
I do agree, but at that point of time, we needed to have adhere to strict guidelines that were issued by the MHA.
But the guidelines were not followed. That's exactly my point. They did travel, no. So the original purpose has been defeated, whatever the purpose was. And then now this decision.
I agree with you, but what has happened is when you observe a particular situation, we have been seeing that now they have given us zoning into red, orange, and green. I need somebody had to observe. There was a task force that is all experts. Everybody put their mind together. We had to take some decision. I do agree. In a country like India, it is not advisable sometimes to keep the migratory workers locked down in a different state. But at that point of time, we must all understand that the migratory worker in that particular state was working there due to panic and due to job losses and what they anticipated, and due to the fear of corona, they wanted to move out of the state and go back to their home state. So some decision had to be taken, and now the lockdown exit policy of the central government, where they are now breaking it up into red, green, and other zones, and also bringing an exit policy for the migratory worker, because now the migratory worker has come to a decision. Even in our state of Goa, there are a lot of people from Bihar, there are a lot of people from UP and Orissa. They want to go back home and they want to be in their own state. They are not really bothered about the employment that they have in the Goa.
But
even
that's
if the
exactly
Goa government,
my point, Mr. Rane. People do want to go back home, and their grudge, if you were, was that if you were willing to get people from abroad back home, if you're willing to send buses to Kota to send get students back home, then why a different yardstick for migrant labourers? Do you think, Mr. Malik, that this was far more of a political compulsion or a political decision than a considered decision? Because we do know for a fact that internally, even within the BJP and also from the states, there was considerable amount of political pressure.
What the decision they had taken day before yesterday, it would have been taken 40 days earlier also. If you want to migrate population from one state to another state, then earlier you would have been taken a decision.
Rane was saying that the situation back then 40 days ago was overwhelming. You were dealing with an unknown and invisible monster. You didn't know what will happen. Everything had to be stopped.
Then how the Uttar Pradesh government has migrated their people from the Delhi and some of the states? Though there was any guideline for different guideline for the Uttar Pradesh, I think people are ready to go to their own town. They were going anyway. Some of the people, they are walking 1,000 kilometers, 2,000 kilometers. So we are not in a situation to lock them here. If government has taken a decision that they have to shift people from one state to another state, a huge planning should be there. A train should be planned number of people in a train.
So that
in
that
which
has now
station
happened.
people are going to, a bigger exercise will be there.
Okay.
It is not so easy that within 2-3 days this all exercise will be finished.
Yeah, no,
it
it will
take
not. It will not happen in
more
2-3
than 1 and
days.
2 months.
It requires a lot of planning even now. Nawab, Malik, as well as Vishwajit, Rane, many thanks for joining us on this political
Thank you so
discussion.
much, Ankit.